The YouTube stream is now live.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another meeting of the Licensing 2003 Act Subcommittee here in the London Borough of Newham. Welcome to those of you watching us on the YouTube platform. I'm Councillor Neil Wilson, and this meeting will be held throughout in order to meet with social distancing guidance issued by the Government and Public Health England. The whole meeting will be conducted via teleconferencing. My colleagues, I'm just doing another sound check before we proceed. Can everybody hear me? In which case, can you put your hand up, please? Thank you very much. So, the first item on our agenda is declarations of interest. I have this is in accordance with the Members' Code of Conduct. This is a time for members to declare any disclosable pecuniary interest or non-pecuniary interest they may have in any matter being considered at this meeting, having regard to the guidance attached to the agenda. I have no such interest. Councillor Lofthouse?
I have no interest to declare.
And Tony Wilson?
I have no interest to declare.
Thank you very much. We now move then to the confirmation of procedure, and this is to be found on page 5 of the bundle that you should find on the council website under the agendas and committee reports. So, I'm Councillor Neil Wilson. I'm the Council's Chair of Licensing, and I represent Plaistow South Ward. Councillor Lofthouse.
Good afternoon. I'm Councillor Lofthouse. I also represent Plaistow South.
And Councillor Tony Wilson.
Good afternoon. My name is Councillor Tony Wilson, and I represent Beckton Ward.
So us three councillors, we are the ones who make the decision. Sometimes we're referred in these meetings as members, so members is just another name for councillors. Can I ask then the licensing officer today to present himself, please?
Yeah, good afternoon. My name's Colin Hunt. I'm the licensing officer and I'm presenting the case.
Thank you. Then we have relevant representations from, and in no particular order, it's just how I can see you on the screen. From the licensing department, John, please.
John Chisley, licensing officer.
Public protection, please, Kerry.
Kerry Wood from the Environmental Health Public Protection Team.
And from the Metropolitan Police, please, Connell.
Connell Stoke, Metropolitan Police Licensing.
And Tessa, you're the applicant. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, Cesar Tozduka.
Thank you. And you're the applicant. And you have no legal representative with you. You're on your own today. Is that right? Yes. There's nobody else that we need to bring into the room. I'm just checking.
Oh, it's just me. I'm my daughter for translation.
All right. Thank you. I just wondered who you were. I'm glad you're fine. But keep off screen if you'd like. That's perfectly acceptable.
I'm just stood behind. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. Our legal advisor, because this is a legal administrative hearing, our legal advisor, Mandeep, please.
Yeah, my name is Mandeep Miha, and I'm the legal advisor to the committee today.
And to be fair to all parties, we have a clerk taking copious minutes throughout. And can the clerk please introduce themselves, please? They're off screen, but.
Thank you, Chair. Nisha Lathigra, Democratic Services.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Now, how we do these reports is the licensing officer presents the officer's report. So Colin Hunt will do the opening report. Members, that is councillors, can seek clarification of matters in that report from the presenting officer. Teze, you as the applicant and the responsible authorities and interested parties may seek clarification of matters within the officer's report from the presenting officer. We then move to relevant representations, and I'll take them in the order that we have them in the bundle. And members can ask questions, and so can yourself, Cesar. You can ask questions. We then have any interested parties, and just to note that we do have submissions from the public, but they are not actually on the call, so they may not be able to attend, but we do take written things into account. You then have a chance, Cesar, is that how I say it, Cesar? Yeah, to present your case. Members can ask questions, and so can the responsible authorities. And I think I'll leave it at that for the moment. Is that okay, everybody? Yes? Everybody clear on how we're doing this? Thank you. Can we just put our hands up? Yeah, okay, thank you. And so we move to agenda item 3, and Colin to introduce, please.
Thank you, Chair. The members of the licensing subcommittee are to hear and determine an application for a new premises licence for Ferret Supermarket 427 to 429 Barking Road, East Ham, E62JX. And the applicant is a Mr. Souza. And any valid representation that have been made. An application for a new premises licence was received by the Licensing Authority on the 18th of June 2020. This was advertised at the premises and in the local paper. A copy of the application is attached to Appendix A, and that's at page 11. This hearing has been adjourned once before, and the previous hearing was on the 8th of September 2020. That was adjourned. The application is for sale of alcohol off the premises only from 9 in the morning till 2300 hours, 7 days a week. The premises opening and closing times are 24 hours, 7 days a week. The Council ASB and Nuisance team have made representation on the licence and objective of prevention of public nuisance, and their letter is attached to Appendix B, page 29. The Council's licensing authority, as a responsible authority, has made representation on the licensing objectives of the prevention of public nuisance and prevention of crime disorder, and their letter is attached to Appendix C, page 33. The police licensing team have made representation on the licensing objective of the grounds of prevention of public nuisance and the prevention of crime and disorder, and their letter is attached to Appendix D, page 37. Three local residents have made representations to on all four licensing objectives, and the three letters of representation are attached to Appendix E, page 39. Where the premises lie within a community impact zone, there was a rebuttable presumption that applications for a new premises licence or club certificate or variation in respect of such premises would normally be refused, unless the applicant can demonstrate in their operating schedule that there will be no negative impact on one or more licensing objectives. At the hearing, members of the subcommittee would need to be satisfied that the applicant has demonstrated this. The community impact of a premises can only be considered where relevant representations are made. This means that if there are no relevant representations, the application must be granted, even if it falls within the CIZ. Members of the subcommittee should note that each application within the CIZ needs to be considered on its own merit, and a blanket refusal cannot be made. Where the licensing authority decides to impose conditions on the licence, whether in the CIZ or not, such conditions must be appropriate and proportionate for the promotion of the licensing objectives. Councillors should consider conditions should be clear and unequivocal. The Secretary of State has issued guidance to the licensing authority to which they must have regards in carrying out their licensing functions. Members of the subcommittee should note that copies of the guidance are available at the meeting of the subcommittee. Alternatively, copies can be obtained directly from the committee clerk. Licensing authority may only depart from the guidance if they have good reason to do so. This premises does fall within the CIZ, and the map of the Green Street and East Ham CIZ plan is attached to Appendix F at page 43. This premises has not had the benefit of a premises licence in the past. However, this premises has operated as a convenience store 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. On the 3rd of August 2016, the premises applied for a premises licence. Objections were received. The subcommittee decision on the 5th of October was to refuse the application, and there was an appeal. A plan of the premises is attached to Appendix G, 45, and a map of the area is attached to Appendix H, page 48. A response to the letters of representation was received by the Licensing Authority on the 29th of July 2020, and the response letters from the applicant is at Appendix I, page 49. On the 15th of October, police sent additional information to the Licensing Authority, and this has been added as a supplementary. I'm just checking that everybody received that. Yep. The members of the subcommittee are asked to hear the application, the representation of the licence holder, and any valid representation received from responsible authorities, and to determine the application. And that concludes the report.
Thank you very much. So in accordance with our guidance, I've been asked to accept a supplementary agenda item. That's agenda item pack number 1, supplementary agenda. It's something from the Metropolitan Police about data with a covering letter. As everybody's received that, I accept that that's going to be part of our deliberations. I'm just holding it to the camera that everybody's seen that. Thank you. Secondly, just to remind people that Appendix E is restricted. That is because it contains names of individuals and all sorts of things that need to be protected for people under the GDPR regulations. So Appendix E, by virtue of paragraph 1 of the Access to Information Procedure Rule set out in the Constitution, pursuant to Schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972, as the appendix contains information relating to an individual, is deemed to be restricted. Therefore, we will not refer to specific points made in there unless it's arising, but certainly not identifying individuals. The public interest is in maintaining this exemption outweighs the public interest in disclosing the information. Mandeep, was that all right? Sorry, I lost you there. Was that okay?
Yeah, that was fine. Yes, sorry, I
restriction.
just had a technical issue with my.
Yeah. So is everybody clear about the restriction? Yeah. So we'll be careful on how we refer to that document. Right. Any further questions of the officer at this point? Councillor Tony Wilson, and then Councillor Loftus.
Just very quickly regarding the premises history, could you just clarify to me who applied for the license in 2016? Is it the same applicant?
I'd have to check, but I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Applicant is a yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Councillor Loftus.
Thank you. And just in relation to that previous application that was refused, so alcohol has never been sold at this premises?
Well, it's never had a license. Checks have been done over the years, and I don't think, from my point of view, I've done checks there. Obviously, when John Chislett speaks, he will say, but I've never seen alcohol on the premises.
Thank you.
Should we leave that one there at the moment, Councillor Loftus and Councillor Wilson? Yes, thank you. Any
Chair,
questions from? Sorry, Colin. You
Chair, if you'd like
back.
to see, I've got. If you'd like clarification of where it is, I've got.
Oh yes, please. We do like to see the maps, and it's useful for the public watching us. Certainly. Are we going to have the location map first, Colin? Then the CID?
I'll put it up.
Whatever order is convenient.
Can you see that?
Not in the moment, but it'll come.
Yes.
Oh, now we've got the picture first, right?
Oh, sorry,
beautiful.
sorry.
Yeah, we've got.
So
the picture.
this is it there. I think this is and if I swing it around, can you see me swinging it around?
Yeah.
There's the town hall. There's the
library and
library, and there's the town hall annex. So it's on that stretch of road, just along from the town hall. And if you want, can you see the picture now?
Yeah, is everybody all right with that? Then we move to the map, and it's the red blob.
That's it there.
Yeah, and it clearly falls within the East Ham Cumulative Impact Zone. So can we just have that up?
Oh, I haven't got that. Sorry, that's in the pack.
That is
Sorry,
in
that's
the pack.
in the pack.
Yeah, yeah. Don't worry, it's just for the benefit outside people, just to understand the logic. It's in our pack on page
39.
Yeah.
39. Thank you, Councillor Wilson. Yes, but it's clearly in the zone, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Any further questions? Thank you. If you want to just restore, the ordinary screen. Any further questions on the presenting officer's report at this stage? Okay, shall we make progress then? And we'll go to the first representation that is on page 29 of our bundle, and that's from the Council's ASB Noise and Nuisance team on the grounds of the licensing objectives of the prevention of public nuisance. Kerry, to introduce, please.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, my letter of representation is Appendix B, which, as the Chair said, is found on page 29 to 31. So the Commercial Environmental Health team, of which I'm a member, is making a representation in respect to this application, in respect to the licensing objective, prevention of public nuisance. This premises does lie in one of the Council's designated community of impact zone, as detailed in the licensing policy of March 2020. And as such, there is a requirement to comprehensively demonstrate that there will be no additional impact on the local area in terms of 4 licensing objectives. I visited the area on the 14th of July 2020. It is an area I know well, having been based in East Ham until very recently, but since 2015. Fear Food Centre is located in a parade of shops, as we just saw on the photo that Colin kindly showed us. It's in between the junctions of Keppel Road and Stretfield Avenue in East Ham. Barking Road is a main thoroughfare through the borough, with commercial premises, mainly retail and food, on the ground floor, with mainly residentials above. And the nearest residential accommodation is directly above this shop. And the little side roads off of Barking Road are mainly residential. There are many other licensed premises in the area, and I've listed those that are close by that sell alcohol for consumption off the premises only. Where you see an asterisk, that's where the premises licence is currently suspended, maybe due to non-payment or not having a DPS, but these licences could be resurrected on payment or putting on a DPS on the licence, so it is important that the committee are aware of them. The applicant is seeking the supply of alcohol off the premises, so an off licence, Monday to Sunday, 9 AM until 11 PM, with the opening hours 24/7. So whilst we do not have any recent complaints about public nuisance emanating directly from this premises, we do have concern about the potential of public nuisance. There are complaints concerning noise and ASB in the immediate and surrounding area. These complaints relate to people drinking on the street, public urination, rowdy and inconsiderate behaviour and littering. I visit this area frequently, and it's always been a hotspot for street drinking. A previous licensed premises very close to this one had its licence revoked by the subcommittee. This decision was then upheld at appeal, partially due to the levels of street drinking and associated antisocial behaviour that it caused. Parts of the area have improved greatly, and the council would not want to see this behaviour return. The green outside the service centre, side streets off Barking Road and alleyways behind the shops are favourite locations for alcohol consumption to take place. Unfortunately, not all areas have improved by this one premises losing its licence. The side streets off of High Street North and the alleyways behind are still littered with cans, bottles and signs of public urination. It is clear to me that the people purchase alcohol in the locality and consume it on the street, which results in the associated problems such as rowdy and inconsiderate behaviour, urination and littering. As a borough, we are working hard to prevent street drinkers, and the council and police are working to deter street drinkers from our streets by the use of appropriate conditions on licences where off sales take place. So things like not having very late or early permitted hours, having maximum ABVs, not selling single cans or selling only packs of 4, and having can marking schemes. These conditions have proven to work to deter street drinkers from areas by making it difficult for them to obtain alcohol. Responsible alcohol retailers should maintain the same ethos as the council in wanting to keep Newham streets clean, and by applying for a licence that permits unrestricted sales from 9 AM to 11 PM, it goes against this ethos, in my opinion. I feel it's highly likely to increase the nuisance and ASB already seen in this area. This application, it did not offer enough conditions to support the licensing objectives of the prevention of public nuisance in such a challenging area such as this, and they hadn't offered a single condition with their application that would deter street drinkers from obtaining the high strength alcohol that they're dependent on. As I said, this premises is situated within one of the council's community of impact zones. It is clear to me that the applicant does not understand what a CIZ is and what they should do to promote their licensing objectives, nor have they demonstrated in their application that they will not add to the existing premises. And I've taken some quotes from our policy with regard to the fact that what you have to do to show that you are going to comprehensively demonstrate that your application will not add to a CIZ. So in light of the street conditions, the street drinking and associated ASB in this area as a whole, if the committee are not minded to outright refuse the application, then definitely more robust conditions should be placed on the licence and the hours reduced. And therefore that is my representation. Would you like me to go into the response from the applicant at the moment, Chair?
Mandeep, the applicant's response is in the pack. It would make sense, I think, if we did do it stage by stage. Is that okay with everybody? Is that okay with you, Mandeep?
Yes, Chair. It's can I just double check which response you're referring to, Kerry?
Yeah. There's a response.
5.
Sorry,
yes, page 49, Appendix I.
Yeah.
It's the Appendix I, because there's been a response. It's the stuff that's in italics on page 49 is the response.
Apologies, I'm just checking I have that. Chair, it's a sorry, I was just checking it was in the agenda pack that I had. It's a matter for you whether you wish for Kerry Wood to address the response to the representation so that she can make any comments in relation to that and give her views. So it might be helpful for you to hear that now.
I think so. I think if that's okay with you, Councillor Wilson and Councillor Loftus, I think it makes logical sense. So yes, because Cesar, you've replied on because this was adjourned anyway. This is Appendix I. So what Kerry is now doing is making comments on what you've replied to her in that Appendix I, page 49. Everybody following? Yes. Is that okay? I want the applicant to understand what's happening. Yeah, yeah. Everybody clear, right? Kerry, thank you.
So the responses start from page 49, Chair, and the applicant has pretty much cut and pasted my representation and then stopped at certain points and responded to it. They talk about having people who are premises DPS holders and have the personal licence and things of that nature. The most important thing I think I need to draw your attention to is pretty much in the middle of page 51. There's a very long paragraph at the top, and it's the very last 3 lines of that paragraph particularly I'd like to draw your attention to, where the applicant has then said, we will not serve alcohol as a single can of beers or ciders. Also, strength of beers, lagers will be a maximum of 5.5%. Those will be sold minimum of 4 cans or bottles. No open bottles or cans will be sold. I would like to draw your attention to that. That is similar to some conditions that we have been offered in areas of this, and obviously it's for the committee to decide if they don't want to outright refuse it, if they feel that those are the only ones that are appropriate, or if more robust ones are required. Thank you.
There's nothing else on that.
There may be questions that I have of the applicant when that time comes, but I just wanted to draw your attention to the fact that they have, in his response, he has offered those as a condition, I assume.
Yeah, thank you. Right, back to your original submission. Have premises in the zone. Some of these licenses may have been grandfathered across from the old legislation, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all within really, within 100 yards of each other, nearly, of the
Very
town
close,
hall.
yes.
Yeah. Now, the last time that we were at the town hall is, before the lockdown, but before the town hall shut down because of the COVID restrictions, there were people to be seen even when we were there in the afternoon drinking on that green.
Well, I was in the town hall even during lockdown.
They're going to say it's now open, and I've seen people when I've gone in to just dispose of papers and things in the town hall. People are still there, aren't they?
They are, yes, Chair. I mean, I was based in the town hall during lockdown, helping the registrars from March, April, May into June. We then were doing the COVID inspections when things started to release, and we were responsible for going around all the commercial premises. And we did go up and down High Street, North and Barking Road. So it's not an area that I've not been to for a while. I've been there very regularly, and it's still an issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you want to know the conditions on the other licenses, Chair?
Yes, please. Yes.
So 284 Barking Road, the one that's suspended, that does have conditions of maximum 6%, spirits of 35 centilitres and packs of 4. And that's a July 15 licence. 304 Barking Road is an old licence. It's grandfathered over, as you say, and that has no conditions. The 347 Barking Road was granted in April 2010, so it's before our CIZ policy, and it has no conditions relating to street drinking. There's another one, 353 Barking Road, again was January 2010, and again has no street drinking conditions, but that's before our CIZ, our policy was in place. We have 391 Barking Road. It's a grandfathered licence, but it was reviewed in June of 2015, where it was revoked. That decision was appealed in the November 2015, where it was reinstated at the Magistrates Court, but it has conditions that relate to street drinking regarding maximum 6.5% ABV. 15 High Street South is a grandfathered licence from 05 and has no conditions. 40 High Street is from June 2015 and has a maximum ABV of 6.5%. and St John's Road is from September 2009 and has no conditions.
Thank you. Questions from my colleagues, please. Councillor Lofthouse or Councillor Wilson, any questions at this point? Councillor Lofthouse.
Because I was, of course, going to ask that one about that. And just for the geography of it, the High Street South ones, they're round the corner, but they're still very close, aren't they?
If you imagine where the town hall is, it's a crossroads, isn't it? High Street North goes up, High Street South goes down, and they're still very close by.
Yes, yes. I think that's all right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Councillor Tony Wilson.
Hi, Kerry. Just looking through the breakdown you gave us with regards to the existing licenses of all these premises, does it not bother you that they're still, most of them will hardly have any conditions and are still on the grandfather or have been grandfathered over, but with no conditions attached?
Yes, I mean, obviously, an example is the 391 Barking Road. It had no conditions, it was grandfathered over, but there was a review. And in that review, we were able to show that street drinking was a problem. So obviously the committee decided to revoke it, but under appeal, the magistrates did allow it to go, but did put conditions on the licence. And that's how we have to work these things, unfortunately, with the grandfathered licences. There's so many in that area that have no conditions, and without things like can marking, it's impossible to know where that can has come from. It takes an awful lot of work from us, which we do, having had success with the premises that's literally just up the road from this one that was revoked, and they appealed it and we won on appeal, which again was for street drinking conditions, and it has really improved the area. So it's just about taking one at a time, targeting each premises, and where you've got so many in such a small place, it's very difficult to, get all of them at once. So we do work very hard, and we target areas like East Ham, where we look at specific premises and we watch them, and we sort of see if we can call, if we've got enough evidence to call a review if they do sell to street drinkers.
Okay, thank you. If we go to page 50, we were on page 51, first paragraph, last couple of words, where he said, last paragraph, where he said that no single cans, beers, ciders, maximum 5.5, and you said that would go forward to as a condition on if granted a new license. But on page 50, where he says that's third paragraph down, mid sentence, he says we will stop selling alcohol at 2300 hours, and the shelves will be closed and their shutters will be drawn down and locked, as well as upright beer cupboards or shelves. So I mean, there are other implications throughout the pages where he has put certain other things forward. Would you say that would suffice, or would you say there needed to be more robust conditions attached?
In my opinion, they don't go far enough. You need to have, I was a bit confused by the condition that he offered that I said, because it says we will not serve alcohol with single cans of beers or ciders. So does that mean that he'll serve a single can of stout or lager? Also, the strength of beers, lagers will be a maximum of 5.5%. Those will be sold in a minimum of 4 cans. So does that mean that if it's above 5.5%, he won't serve it in 4 cans? He'll serve a single if it's over 5. They're not properly worded conditions, in my opinion, but obviously that could be a language issue, that could be a knowledge issue. That's for you to question the applicant about. But there are model conditions that we can use, and if the committee are minded to offer those to the applicant, and that's obviously down to you. It's really, my main concern was that the application came in with nothing, and this applicant has come before the committee before with an application that was refused. Has he not learned anything from that process and understanding what a CIZ is? Did he have to wait to get all our representations before he
came back with he
looked at what a CIZ was and came back? So really, it's for you to decide if you feel he's a proper person to hold a licence in an area such as this that is under such stress.
Right, and so one more question with regards to prior lockup, during lockup. Have you had any complaints from this particular premises recorded or registered or phoned through via the same people that sent in the letters?
No, what happens, unless it happens inside the premises, on our system, it doesn't get recorded at that premises. So if someone says, you know, someone's outside drinking a can, then the little dot will go outside the premises, but we can't, unless we physically saw it, or they will swear on a statement that they physically saw that person buy that can from that shop and then go outside and drink it. We can't attribute it to that premises unless we know for sure, because it would be unfair. You know, you can't throw mud. And so that's why we don't have anything specifically about this premises, because obviously people may not have witnessed that person buying that can and then drinking it on the green outside and then throwing it away and then weeing up the wall or whatever. So we can't attribute it to that premises. We just know that that area is under stress.
It's just a hotspot,
from all of the licenses, off licenses in that area. And obviously we want to protect Newham from street drinking as much as we can.
Thank you, Kerry. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, thank you very much, and thank you for that complete answer. Thank you. Very good questions there. Now let's move on to Appendix C then, and that is the next one, I think, and that's the licensing team. Is that?
Yeah, does the applicant want to ask any questions?
Oh, sorry, fair point. Does the applicant want any questions at this point?
Firstly, I'm just basically I'm just confused about one thing. It says under when I'm the thing he wrote on the applicant, he done it with a constancy, and they are Appendix C, something like that.
I can't hear you very well. You'll have to come nearer the microphone.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's better. Yeah.
Basically, when he done these forms, he done it with a company called Appendix C Consistency, something like that. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
And he's right now he's listening to the things that's been said, and he's getting worried about some of the things are just not making sense, because she said that some of the things are written are not making sense. I think it's because that person just wrote from his mouth. Maybe that's why it's not making sense. But I'm not really sure what exactly happened there, because I wasn't here. I was working, and I was not in this place. So I'm not really sure. Like, if anything, I get confused. Can I just ask questions to you guys if that's okay?
So are you saying that the applicant didn't fill in the form himself?
No,
he used an agent to do it.
Yeah, and they're written down at the bottom of the letter. It's called billing
consultancy.
Yeah. Colin wishes to come in. Can we just pause? Colin, you're the presenting officer. Is that your understanding?
Yeah, that's correct. And the all of Appendix I came from that company in response to the letters, not from Mr. Sousa. I mean, it is from Mr. Sousa because obviously it's your applicant, but your legal representative wrote them. I got an email from them.
Right.
Do you see what I mean? So although it is yours, you didn't send it directly. Your legal representative did.
But we're on questions to Kerry about anything that she's said at the moment. Do you have any questions to Kerry at the moment?
Right now, no. Afterwards, if I have anything, I'll just ask them.
Yeah, but the process is clear. That's where we're at. Yes, are you clear on where we're at? Yes,
I am.
Yeah. Councillor Loftus, did you want to come in on anything?
I was only going to ask for clarification on that point as to whether the letter had been dictated by Seger or whether it was written, but it may not. That's the issue that was coming up there, and I just wanted clarification on that. It didn't sound quite clear to me.
He was with her, and they done it together. But I think she wrote it down. But as he was talking, she wrote it down. That's what I know.
Right. Okay. Thank you. I think we make progress. Is that okay, Councillor Wilson? Yes. Right. So I think we're on Appendix C, and I was about to introduce John Chislett, I think, to this report, to speak to report page 33 at Sequendum, page 33 to 35.
Thank you, Chair. The Council's licensing team, as a responsible authority, would like to make representation against this application as a responsible authority for the grant of a new premises licence for Farrett Food Centre on the grounds of crime and disorder and the prevention of public nuisance. Newham as a borough has a problem with street drinkers, and the council and the police have been working hard to deter street drinkers from its streets by use of conditions on licences, especially where off sales are taking place. For example, not to have late or early permitted hours, maximum percentage ABV for beers, lagers, stouts and ciders, and not selling single cans, bottles, etc. These conditions are proven to work to deter street drinkers from the area by making it difficult then to obtain cheap, high-strength alcohol 24 hours a day. This part of East Ham is used heavily by street drinkers. This is a new application, and all applications must be considered on its own merits. The premises falls within the council's community of impact zone, and the applicant will need to demonstrate that the opening of premises within a stress area that is notorious with street drinkers day and night will not affect the area negatively and increase the issues that surround this part of East Ham. And the application should be refused if this cannot be achieved. The licensing enforcement team lately have been seeing an increased number of new licence applications that have been submitted by applicants' agents with an array of conditions attached to the operating schedule to promote the 4 licensing objectives. These applications have come before the licensing subcommittee, or the applications have been uncontested and the licence has been granted. Following the grant of a licence sometime later, the licensing enforcement team has carried out test purchases and/or routine licensing compliance visits, and the premises licence holder, DPS or employees that are selling and displaying alcohol outside the authorisation allowed by the licence have no knowledge of the conditions that have been attached and could lead to offences under section 136, 137, 146 of the Licensing Act 2003. Where the premises licence holder or DPS has been interviewed under caution for these offences, the majority seem to have no or little understanding of the conditions that their agent or solicitor has applied to the licence via the operating schedule and are unable to explain why they failed to comply with the conditions that they need to comply with. The applicant states that the premises is open 24/7 and requested hours for the sale of alcohol being Monday to Sunday 9 AM to 11 PM, with non-standard timings listed, including bank holidays and public holidays, but the applicant has not stated what times they're looking at selling alcohol on these non-standard times, nor have they stated how they will ensure that alcohol is not sold outside the permitted hours should a new licence be granted. Reading through the application, it shows to me that the applicant and/or their agent does not realise the premises is located within one of the council's community of impact zones, nor that they read the council's licensing policy and model conditions that can be found in the document. The applicant, as we've heard, applied for a premises licence back in 2016. The application was then within the council's community of impact zone, and the application was refused, partly due to the applicant not understanding the community of impact zone. It would appear to me that the applicant hasn't taken on board the objections and comments from the refusals back in 2016 with this new application. The applicant gives the licensing authority the understanding of the problems and issues of running the licensed premises within Newham and the challenging area of East Ham. The licensing authority would like the applicant to comprehensively show to the committee why a new premises licence should be granted and alleviate the authority's concerns with this in mind on this representation. That concludes my letter.
Thank you. Now, there was a refusal on page 34. The applicant applied for a premises licence for this shop back in 2016. It was quite clear that there was a community of impact zone at the time. It's been established, the same community of impact zone in the revision of the policy, but the policy was in existence, correct, at the time?
That's correct. On both occasions, there's been a policy in force, yes.
Yeah. And have you, on any enforcement visits, seen any alcohol being sold?
No, I have not.
Right. And my question is, are you minded to go through the response as we had from Kerry?
Well, I can do. I mean, some of the comments that have been put in there do alleviate some of the concerns. But because the application's in the community of impact zone, and the fact that the application in 2016 was refused partly because it was in the CIZ area, I'm a little bit concerned that the applicant has submitted a new application in the same area, in a CIZ, with no conditions and understanding of the community of impact zone. So although some of those conditions that have been put in that letter alleviate some of the concerns, why hasn't the applicant put those in the operating schedule when he first applied for the application?
Thank you. Yeah. The comments regarding, just so that we're clear for the letter, the comments refer to your comments are on the page. Sorry, I'm trying to cross-reference. Is it there? Sorry, is it separated, John?
Yes, page 53 to
Yeah, page 53. Yeah.
57.
Yeah, I'm going to say to 57. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I think we leave that then hanging, as it were, unless there's any questions from Councillor Wilson, the other Councillor Wilson. Tony, do you have any questions?
Not at the moment, Chair.
Yeah. Councillor Lofthouse.
I think I was going to ask about the level of actual crime as opposed to public nuisance, crime and disorder.
I think we'll come into for the police on that one.
Yes,
if that's all right.
I was thinking that's probably better.
Yeah. Shall we? Yeah. Any? Sorry, Councillor Wilson, you wish to come in?
Sorry, yeah, there was one.
Yeah.
The fact that he has offered up or is prepared to have 5 personal license holders on the premises, not at any particular given time, but that's quite a lot to have. Does it show you that he's taken, this more seriously than before, perhaps?
It does, yes. And obviously by having a personal licence holder on the premises during the whole of the permitted hours, it does give a bit more confidence, especially for underage. And obviously the personal licence holder would know who they can sell to, who they can't, and hopefully would have some understanding of any conditions attached to a licence if a licence is granted.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, John.
Okay.
Anything else? Anything from the applicant at this stage? Questions to the licensing officer? Remember, we're on questions.
Yeah, no, everything's fine so far.
Thank you.
No questions? No.
No.
Okay, so police now. Sliding obliquely via Councillor Lofthouse's concern about crime, etc. Page 37, Connell, please. Metropolitan Police.
Thank you, Chair. On behalf of the Commissioner of Metropolitan Police, I wish to object to an application for a new premises licence at the Firat Food Store, 427-429 Barking Road, E6 2JX, on the grounds of the prevention of crime and disorder and the prevention of public nuisance. You've heard the proposed hours and the opening hours 24/7. In section 5 of the operating schedule, the premises are described thus. The site is located on the east side of Barking Road. Barking Road is a busy shopping road used by local people, commuters and visitors. The shop is currently operating as a medium-sized convenience store, supplying groceries and including butchery products, operating 24 hours and planning to supply alcohol off the premises. High-volume alcohol products will be displayed on the shop floor behind the counter, with tobacco products. Beer, wine and cider products will be displayed in the fridge and on the shelves. Alcohol products will be stored in the basement storage room. You've heard this premises is within a cumulative impact zone. The applicant's agent has submitted a decent set of conditions, although if the licence was granted, police would prefer the wording in the model conditions to be used. However, he has omitted any mention of conditions that would act as a deterrent to street drinkers who cause antisocial behaviour in the side streets and alleyways off High Street North and Barking Road. Please consider that if the premises were to operate without those conditions on the licence, the likely effect would be to attract street drinkers to the shop and exacerbate the current problems. There is also no mention of whether the premises will have solid lockable shutters to conceal alcohol stored behind the counter, on the shelves and in the fridge, outside of the permitted hours for sales of alcohol. As has already been mentioned, please note that the local authority records show the applicant applied for a licence for the premises through an agent in 2016, when the licensing subcommittee refused to grant the licence. The decision letter from that hearing states the applicant was unable to demonstrate an understanding of the implications of the CIZ or even an awareness of it. When asked if he understood what the CIZ was, he replied no. This is despite the fact that he had held a personal licence issued by Enfield Council at that time. In the operating schedule, the agent stated that every supply of alcohol will be made by a personal licence holder or a person authorised by the personal licence holder. How many personal licence holders will there be at the premises in addition to the applicant? Therefore, given the applicant's history, we would like him to give him the opportunity to attend the licensing subcommittee hearing in order to A, demonstrate that he understands why the area in which he will be operating is designated as a CIZ, why the conditions proposed on his behalf are necessary, proposed additional conditions to deter street drinkers from purchasing strong alcohol from his premises, and to demonstrate to the committee that he understands his responsibilities as a licence holder in promoting the 4 licensing objectives, especially the prevention of crime and disorder and the prevention of public nuisance. As you've heard on page 58 to 60, there is a response from the agent. He has addressed some of the issues. Strength 5.5 maximum ABV, but there's no mention of ciders and stouts, and some of the stouts like Dragon Stout and Lion Stout are high volume, have high volume ABVs. That the 5.5 is welcome, but we would like ciders and stouts included, as has already been mentioned. One matter of concern is there's no commitment not to sell spirits in bottles of less than 35 cls, or to have can marking or bottle marking as a condition. I know Kerry has already mentioned that. It also addresses the issue alcohol displays shelves will be fitted with an opaque shutter. All alcohol product display shelves will be closed with their own shutters, and the shutters will be locked. We would also like to emphasise that the shutters should be solid and not something that a customer could perhaps put their hand behind. He's also addressed the matter of personal licence holders. We said there's 2 more personal licence holders at the premises. I may go on to the supplementary agenda, or should I? Do you want questions based on the original presentation first, representation first?
No, I think we take it all together in the round. Otherwise, we're going backwards and forwards. So
Okay.
you've got some crime statistics.
I have. On the 15th of October, I submitted some heat maps taken from the website and are based on raw police crime data. A sample of 3 months of data is submitted to provide representation of problems in the vicinity since the end of lockdown. The figures during lockdown were much higher, so to present those would have been disproportionate. The website provides crime data for the offences of antisocial behaviour, public order and violent crime within a quarter-mile radius of the
Chair, to
postcode.
interrupt. We seem to have lost John Chislett.
We seem to have lost John Chislett. We better hold there till we get him back.
Yeah, no
on.
problem.
Everybody has to be.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll message you.
Yes, he's gone off completely. So
I've got a signal problem, possibly.
Chair, if I may, John Chislett has just messaged to say that his broadband has dropped out and he is trying to get back online.
Right. Can we just pause then? If it's too long, we'll have an adjournment. But if it's, we'll pause for the moment. If he appears
I
as
am
if by magic.
Sorry, I am communicating with him, so I'll just check.
Right. I hadn't noticed him go off the screen. I was so conscious of the fact while we're having this technical hitch, as it were, are we able to display these maps at all, or is that going to be beyond? Connor, are you able to display these maps on screen or not?
I can't. I don't know if Colin is able to.
I will check to see if I can get them up on the system.
Right. Just to explain to everybody who's watching this on the live streaming service, everybody in an administrative hearing has to hear everything that's being said. The decision is based on, everything being said as well as what's being written. And obviously responses need to be heard. It doesn't look as if we're going to get him back in a hurry. Pauline, are you there?
I'm here.
I'm suggesting an adjournment while we try and sort this out. It is currently 8 minutes to 3. Can we reconvene at 3 o'clock, everybody? Don't go away, the applicant, please. Don't go away from your screen. It's just we're having technical problems. So you can
I
you
can
can go
put
away
you all
from the
into
screen.
breakout rooms, Chair.
We're going to go into breakout rooms. Wait till that signal comes up.
Okay, I'll do that now.
And we'll be reconvening at 3 o'clock.
You're on mute, Chair.
Is everybody back? Can everybody hear me all right?
Yes.
Yes.
And we are back on live stream. Zoomer, helper, please, are we? Yep.
Yes. Yes, we
Yeah,
are.
thank you. Thank you for the patience. John, you're back online, okay? Yes?
I am. I do apologise about
Yeah.
that. My broadband dropped out.
That's fine. This is what happens. Now we're in the middle of the Metropolitan Police representation. So Connell, to continue, please.
Referring to the supplementary agenda, the website provides crime data for the offences of antisocial behaviour, public order and violent crime within a quarter-of-a-mile radius of the postcode of the premises. The information is submitted to provide a context within which the applicant will be operating if the licence is granted. The maps, I don't know if Colin can put them up on the screen while I refer to them.
Yeah, would you like me to do that, Chair?
Yes, please. So we start with the June one, page 5 of the supplementary. Thank you.
Right. This is for June. The number of incidents of antisocial behaviour is 57. The number of violent incidents is 16. The number of public order incidents is 3. As you can see, there is a dark blue area just to the east of High Street North, Lloyd Road, and those roads around there, and that also extends along that first part of Barking Road where the premises is situated.
Connell, can I just ask a quick question? Is there any significance of the colour codes?
The light blue is the area within the radius, and the darker blue are where the incidents occur. The red area just by down by Central Park means it's a hot spot.
Okay.
So the darker the blue going into red means that the more larger number of offences that occur.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that okay, Mandeep? Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So shall we move on to the next one then, Connell, please?
July, the number of antisocial behaviour is 63, incidents of violence 24, and public order 8. And again, you can see the area to the east of High Street North, Lloyd Road, and going down towards Barking Road, and also just north of the shop in I think that's Stretfield Street. Yeah. Just the north, and also the area just to the east of the library where the green area is. That is also an area where, as you've heard, I think Kerry mentioned, popular with street drinkers. Going on to August, 53 incidents of antisocial behaviour, 24 of violence, and 5 of public order. Less so around Lloyd Road, although there still is, again, just north of the premises at Streetfield Street, and further along the road, just to the east of the library again. If I could just explain, the reason why those 3 specific offences have been cited are that there is a progression of seriousness for the offences. If I may just quickly give a definition of each of them. Antisocial behaviour, the definition given in the Antisocial Behaviour Crime and Policing Act 2014 is conduct that has caused or is likely to cause harassment, alarm or distress to any person. Conduct capable of causing nuisance or annoyance to a person in relation to that person's occupation of residential premises. So that is, that covers a wide range of incidents. Then we go on to public order.
Connell, you're on mute.
Hello, can you hear me?
You can now. Yeah,
Right.
public order.
Section 4 of the Public Order Act 1986 creates an offence of causing intentional harassment, alarm or distress. If a person is guilty of an offence with intent to cause person harassment, alarm or distress, and that includes threatening, abusive or insulting words or behaviour or disorderly behaviour. So that is a more serious offence than just antisocial behaviour. And then with violence, that is being any offence which leads or is intended to or likely to lead to a person's death or physical injury to a person, including arson. So that is the highest on the range of offences. I hope that helps.
Thank you. Okay, so shall we clear the screen again? Thank you. Unless anybody else, sorry. Yeah, that's gone anyway. Thanks. Any questions at this point to Connell? Tony Wilson, please. You're on mute, Tony.
Sorry about that. Looking at the maps, you say you've got the lighter blues, the darker blues, and you've got a green near Sainsbury's, and you've got the red near the Red Lion, which you said is a hotspot.
It is, yes.
Right, okay. So I've noticed that some of the lighter blues have moved around on different months, but the red spot and the green one near Sainsbury's are on every single one in exactly the same place. So are these more of an area where we will find the street drinkers?
Yes, yeah, there are street drink problems in Central Park. They
So
congregate
it's
in Central
in
Park.
the park.
Yes, generally in the park, but also I think in the streets and around there as well. But I think they do tend to mainly congregate in the park.
And near Sainsbury's, in that open bit just opposite the Costa Coffee.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that's the case, do you roughly know how many licensed premises we have on High Street South, apart from the Red Lion, leading up from Barking Road to Central Park?
I think at the top end of High Street South, there are one, perhaps two, but then further down by the park, there's one just opposite the park, or just on the corner, and there is one further down on the same side of the road. So
Right.
there aren't that many.
There aren't that many, but that's the biggest congregation in the park for the street drinkers. The other question I wanted to ask was,
And just sorry to interrupt, Tony, and that has been the subject of other correspondence and issues that have come before this council, not connected with this premises necessarily, but the street drinking in the park was an issue.
Yeah,
and it's still an issue, but
Yeah.
come via
Some
various
other
channels with premises that didn't have licenses and all sorts of things.
Yeah. So have you had any reported incidences from any of the shops that supply alcohol, the 4 or 5 that are around about Central Park area?
No, I can't say that we have.
Okay. All right, thank you, Connell. That's all for now.
Councillor Lofthouse.
Yes, going from what has been said already, so there is a high correlation between this ASB, violence, public order offences and alcohol.
Yes, as you've heard, Kerry has provided visible evidence of the number of cans and bottles, and actually prior to the first hearing that was adjourned. I actually visited the scene on the morning of that. That should have happened at mid-morning, and there were waste bins in Lloyd Road and also along Barking Road, which contained bottles of Ace and White Star strong ciders with 7.5% ABV, and also miniatures of spirits. So that confirms what the statistics say. Unfortunately, we don't have, using this website, we can't say how many of the incidents involved high intoxication as a contributory factor, or indeed involved street drinkers. But given the visual evidence that Kerry has mentioned, it seems very prevalent. As I say, unfortunately, we can't inform your view with that, or with the number of percentage of incidents that do involve high intoxication.
Thank you very much.
Any further questions, Tony? Anything else? No?
No, thank you, Chair.
Right. Any questions, the applicant, to the police? I can't hear you. Any questions yet?
No, so far.
No questions. Right. Okay, shall we make progress then? And then it's the applicant then. We've noted in passing that there are residents' objections. They're not here, but we will take note of what they've said in their written submissions. So it's now the applicant to reply to present their case, rather. It's a new application to present their case, and we can ask questions, remember, and so can all the responsible authorities.
Hi. Okay. Can I speak? Yeah. Is that fine for him?
Yes.
Okay. I understand it's in the impact zone and everything. I understand that. That's right. But there's so many alcohols on this road. I'm not saying only like in the high street in the town hall. I'm saying the whole street of the Barking Road. There's many people selling alcohols, and they're selling alcohols for 24 hours. So they don't have a time limit. They just sell even at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. But my dad is saying that he'll sell alcohol from 9 a.m. to 11, even if he has to sell from 9 to 10 p.m. Sorry, if he wants, he could put a 1 hour more down, and he could even do that if that's the case. And as he stated on the document, that he was saying that the pub closes at 12 o'clock, so there's no intentions with people from the pub coming and trying to buy alcohol from our shop and causing problems or any crimes. Because when people come out from the pub and wants to come and get a drink, they will come to the shop straight away. But because they closed, he will stop selling before them. There wouldn't be any problems, he's saying. And also, he also said, I'm not sure, I don't drink alcohol, so I'm not really sure about the 5.5 and them kind of stuff. So I'm going to say, in my view, he's not going to sell any single can alcohols. And as he said, that he's going to do storage to the back of the till. So he's going to lock it, and he's saying that he won't put any alcohol in the fridge if he doesn't have to. Like he won't put any alcohol into the fridge. So because when you put in the fridge, he can't really lock it. So he was saying that I wouldn't put any alcohol in the fridge and leave it next to the till and then lock it, and then no one could actually get access to it at all. If that's the case, if that's making any problem. He also said that too. And he's also saying that, one second, let me read. Oh, he also said that I've been working, he has the shop for 70 years now, and he didn't have any, of course, sometimes there is problems like calling the fire. It always come out from the pub, the problems that people from the pub come. And he just said that I've been working for 17 years in this area and with this community. I never had any problems to do with my business. So I won't let that happen again, anything like that to happen at all, because I've been working 17 years, he's saying, and I didn't have any problems. From now on, I wouldn't allow that to happen. Başka bir şey demek istiyor musun?
Bir de ben 17 yıldır buradayım. I've been 17 years here work to the business. 17 time I doesn't call the police. But high street is not much control that. I can't get control. I try to get my business. I try to get my more profit to business. I looking down. When I get the control high street, I can't get control. But lot of people, everyday people is come get asked you, young people get cigarette, get down. I never give them. Never. Police is not that down. Many time council send me the kicks, try get the cigarette. One times never I give them. 70 years I sell the cigarette here. But I want to try to my best, look into my business, more nicely, get more nice shutter in the back, more nicely to them designing. I want to that one. That's thank you very much. Everything is done. I'm gonna tell
He's
them.
also building a new storage. I don't know if you have access to the plan. He's doing a new basement, and he's trying to make his business bigger and change everything. And he's in his he had the planning permission. They still do. They're right now here doing the work, and he's trying to change his business and make it more profit basically. If the case is the timings for the alcohol, then he could put a time limit for the alcohol. Even if he has to just stop selling at 10 o'clock, then he could do that. That's in my fault. I understand there's an impact zone. It is a very crime area, but it's not everyone is selling. But when it comes to my dad's business, it's been a problem because for 17 years, it's a long time before any other businesses around here opened. He's been selling. He's been working here. And right now it's just the case when he wants to do profit for his business and trying to make it bigger, do a new basement. They're causing a problem that everyone can sell alcohol, but then my dad can't. I don't understand why that's been a problem. Because for 17 years, does he have any, I want to ask the police officer, does he have any crimes, any problems that's been occurred about the shop at all? Only in the COVID-19 time, there was one person that came, tried to cause an argument with the customers between. I straight called the police. That was it.
Panik batımız bile var. Teşekkür ederim.
I just wanted to ask that, is there any specifically crimes in this shop? Because he never had problems in this business. And he's been working for 17 years in this area, in this community. He knows literally everyone here. That's it really.
Right. I think it may be helpful if we move into a series of questions. Excuse me. You've stated that there's been 17 years with no problem at this premises. Do you own the freehold or are you a leaseholder?
It's a freehold.
Freehold.
Yep.
And you've got plans to expand. We can see from Appendix G on page 45 of the bundle that if you were to be granted the license, the alcohol products would be stored in this basement that you're renovating.
Well, he's actually saying he won't buy too much alcohol. He will only let's say in the box there's 12. He buy that and then put it in the shelf. He wouldn't store it just in case. He doesn't want to do too much storing alcohol, just to make sure there's any other problems, no one trying to cause problems. He's actually saying, whatever I buy, I put in the store, then that's it. If I finish, I'll go and buy more.
Where would the supplies of alcohol come from?
Let me ask him. Sen alkolları alırsan nereden alırsın?
Best Way'den. Best Way and Demetria cash and carry and Times cash and carries do that. I got all cash and carry I work that. Best Way cash and carry, Demetria, Times cash and carry, like this. All cigarette I buy the Best Way. I got to buy to the Best Way cash and carry. Just barking and the A13 road has been there. Just back 10 minutes for driving today.
Yeah, thank you. There was a question about these lockers. If that's all right, my colleagues, doing this plan thing. So you're saying that the basement area, even though it's highlighted in red, so that's coming under the new license if it were to be granted, would be storage, but not excessive amounts. but we're concerned about street drinking and about crime in the area, and it's a cumulative impact zone for a reason, but we'll ask questions about that in a minute. Just on the basics of the plan, in a sort of red hatched area is the alcoholic thing, the alcohol. So you come in from the main entrance on the high street. Yes?
Yes.
You've got a till 1, till 2. Behind the counter would be spirit display shelves. And then there's a little bit further beer, wine and display shelves. The opposite side there's beer and wine display fridges. And there's another fridge. So there's quite a lot of area. How much of the overall area is devoted to display or sales of alcohol? How much of the ground floor is that percent?
For the shelves, yeah?
No, the whole of the alcohol area.
Okay, the whole alcohol. Sen alkol şeyini yaptırırsan ne kadar büyük günde olacak? I'm sorry, çok büyük.
5 metre. 3, no, 4, 5. And all together is about 6 meter.
Altogether he's saying 6 meter.
Right. Because it's not to scale, you see. So I just was checking on that one.
I just wanted to ask him because I'm not really sure about that.
I want to move the one step is there. I'll do the basement now. He's been next week is ready basement, about 6 meter.
He's basically doing a new basement because he wants to just for the butcher side mainly make it a bit more bigger because he has many customers as a family. It's more family-based business, so he's just trying to make it bigger, make a new basement, and then make the butcher side a bit more bigger if you can. After
yeah, but we're with all due respect, we're not concerned about butchery products here. This is a licensing 2003 application, so we note with interest about the butchers. We also note with interest the tobacco sales, but we must focus on the alcohol. So I asked you a question. Those areas in red are the areas of alcohol display. The question was, how much percentage of the floor space would you be using for the display of alcoholic products?
He's
6 ultimately.
He's 6 meters only.
Right. I'll pass over to my colleagues. Is it, do we have Jane or Tony anything on the plan at the moment?
Nothing, not particularly on the plan. I mean, maybe where the alcohol is being sold in relation to the entrance, but that's to the right behind the counter.
Yes. On that plan, then if that's okay, Tony, are you okay with me doing this one? Yeah. You've got a spirits display shelf. I didn't understand what you meant by opaque. You're going to cover this up with opaque, is that right?
For the alcohol, to cover the alcohol.
Yes, when it's not for sale. So if we were to grant this from 11 at night till the next morning, it should be covered.
Okay.
Definitely shutter.
He's thinking to put a shutter, for like basically for cigarettes, there used to be shutters to put the
cigarette is not locking. That one is locked.
To just pull it down, then you locked it.
Yeah.
And stuff. He wants to do that. He wants to put a little like a shutter, so when he just pulls it down, it just gets locked, and he takes the key.
Right, so it's lockable shutters, keep comparing spirits.
And then he's going to take the key to his home, and no one able to open it.
The second
And those spirits, do they are you intending to sell miniatures? With no reference at the moment about miniatures.
Miniature satmayı düşünüyor musun yoksa?
Miniature düşünmedim.
Okay.
I don't think about miniature. Or any problem the miniature, I have got 4 meter to accounting. The straight away and the water 4 meter account. I got a lot of place in the back side, near in the cigarette side, but I don't think about miniature.
Well, I don't really follow that. Tony, do you want to persist with this one, please? I'm passing that over. Tony will ask about miniatures, I feel, a bit more.
Okay. To your understanding, Cesar, the miniature bottles, like a half bottle of vodka, a half bottle of, are you saying that you have no intentions of selling miniature bottles?
No, smallları satmıyorum. The most small one.
Okay, he's saying he won't sell the, you know, the little ones.
The 25 mil.
The little ones. He won't sell them.
Right. What about the 35 mil?
I want selling it.
Yeah, he
The same place I keep the shutter.
He wants
Now, you see, if he was reading the model conditions on the application form and looking at the website for Newham and how we would like Newham to be run and what our specifications are, he would know that 35 mil is not something that we would advocate. We don't like, because that's what the street drinkers buy. They buy the 35 mil or the 25 mil with their beer, and then they go off and get drunk. So the fact that you don't actually know that you actually want to sell 35 mil is a little bit concerning.
Can I tell him that? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Diyor ki sen bilmiyor musun biz 35 millete satmıyoruz hiç.
Yok satmıyoruz ya.
Tamam diyor bizim bölgede
Yok
satmıyoruz.
satmayacağım zaten. Yani onları satmayacağım. I don't want to satmayacağım.
Ama sen diyorsun ki ben düşünüyordum.
Sorry, we do need to come through the chair. This is a dialogue at the moment. I want a straight question to my colleague's question, please. A straight answer to my colleague's question.
Hiç satmayacağım.
What is the minimum size of bottle of spirits that you're intending to sell?
It's my mistake. I don't sell any miniature. I want to do the high class customer. When you buy big bottle, I sell that one. I don't want any miniature. I don't have any big place I put a miniature or small one, this one. I need a high class, nice alcohol sell to that.
So in answer to my question, you have no intention of selling 25 or 35 mil spirits.
Satmayacağım bunları. No.
Okay.
I want to do high class. 70 milligram like this.
Right, okay. So if we're gonna, sorry, Chair, was you finished with the map question?
No, not really. I wanted you to come back in, either of you two, because otherwise I'm dominating this. Yeah.
That's fine. So if we go to your map, which is on page 41.
45.
45, so I've got the old,
yeah.
So apologies about that. So this basement downstairs, in the actual map, it says that you've got alcohol product stock location, which is in the red crisscross box along the back. About 10 minutes ago, your daughter said you don't intend on storing alcohol downstairs in the basement. So can you tell me, are you going to be storing alcohol in the basement or are you not?
Alkol hiç fazla alıp aşağıda.
Sadece bira. Only beer.
You only be storing beer in the basement.
Yeah, that's it. The big alcohol every day I've been cash and carry.
So you just buy and go and store as and when you need it.
The beer, yes, maybe some beer is. I know that I got different places you got alcohol. Some beer is very fast. You know that you like $5, like $6 each. Like Stella, $5 you keep that. You sell the pour. The daily is finished that quickly. But the the normal 70%, the 45% alcohol, every day I've been cash and carry.
Right, okay. So how long would you keep your receipts for? Your receipts of the things that you purchase at Best Ways and other warehouses?
Hepsi muhasebecimde.
Okay, he every time every week he makes a folder and sends it to his accounting. So they have it for years now. It's all in there.
Right, so that's just for food and groceries. Yeah.
Every shopping for every
shopping. But you do realise if you purchase alcohol, we would want to be able to gain access at any time to see these receipts.
You can anytime you want because he gives it to them and afterwards the accounting puts in an online document and then they keep it on store for his documents. So every year for his income, his how many things is being sold. It's everything in one document, which companies and everything. Yeah, he has one
Can you
right
show
now.
some?
Yeah, it's okay. I don't need to see it.
Weekly, I keep like this weekly.
All right, I see. So you right, okay.
Receipt and in my own invoice.
Okay, thank you. Chair, I finished for the moment with him, and yeah, stock. Okay.
The stock, yeah. Jane, we're on stock questions.
Yes,
You had other questions. Don't worry, if it's about other things, do come in.
well, it was more or less.
Stock questions.
Well, it's let's say it's germane. Yes, I wonder if you could explain to us why we have such concerns about which alcohol you sell and the quantities. I wonder if you could explain it to us, what we might expect from you and why we might expect it.
Peki neden bence biz şey diyoruz işte ne kadar alkol satacağım, ne kadar hani küçüklerini neden satmayacağım.
Kestiremem. Şu an yani ben ne desem I want to see them. What's happening is gone. No. Alkol şimdi kestiremem. Bu bir gerçek. Yalan söyleyemem. Aynen öyle söyle. Şimdi hiç alkol satmamışım ki burada.
Okay.
Hiç alkol
He's saying,
satmamışım.
firstly, he never sold alcohol in the shop, so he doesn't really know like, oh, which alcohol should be sold, which alcohol shouldn't be sold. But he's understanding this from the things I've been talking about today, that there is a crime area. So this is a crime area because of the street drinkers and everything. And as I don't drink alcohol too, so I'm not really sure of the points and how they are really. But when the councillor was saying that
Belki de hiç satamam.
Yeah, the councillor was saying that people get the drink and then they get little ones and they put it into the beer and they get drunk like that, which I didn't even know that. I learned that today. He knows like if he sells the little ones, it's going to cause more street people to come and get alcohol more. But if he sells the big alcohols, he understands this now too. If he sells the big alcohols, it's going to be only people that really want to go home and drink and sit down like a family, because he wants to keep his business as a family. So he's trying to make it more elite than street people coming and buying and causing problems. He wants the business to stay as a family premises, and only people that come get the drink, the big bottles, go home and drink, and that doesn't cause any problem to the community.
And could you be a bit clearer about which alcohol? Could you use alcohol full stop? I mean,
okay.
Wine or spirits or beers or
Stouts and ciders. We've had a question mark again as well.
Sen hangi alkolları satmayı düşünüyorsun?
Viski satmayı düşünüyorum.
Okay.
Bira, şarap, yani wine.
Okay.
Wine satmak istedim. Bunları bir deneyeceğim önce.
Okay.
I'll first try
He's
that one.
saying wine, beer, and whiskey. Do you want vodka? They still more.
Vodka, yes.
And vodka,
sprit.
and then kind of ones.
I want to talk to the honesty. First one, I got tried that maybe 10 items or 20 items. I'm not sure that. Two each I put. I don't know which one is go fast. You don't know the area. I know the area best one, but never are selling alcohol yet. Never I tried to the alcohol sell to this business. First I tried that. I don't want it too much to put too much different alcohol I put. I want to nicely like, but the family one, like family alcohol, like this expensive wine, more than like expensive wine, and whiskey like this I put on the shelf. I don't have much place.
Councillor Loftout, sorry, I think we need to park that there, don't you? I don't know whether we're going to get any further. Councillor Tony Wilson.
Okay, Cesar, if that's the case, why would you want to sell alcohol at 9 o'clock in the morning? Most nice families do not buy alcohol at 9 o'clock in the morning.
I understand that, but and evening time, but like 7 o'clock, lot of customer, you get that, try to get nice alcohol. It should ask to me, you selling alcohol? No. He leave his cigarette, he go back different side. He leave his cigarette. He never, I said, I don't have the alcohol. I put in the...
No, Cesar, listen to my question.
Give it to him, if that's what
Yes, please.
Niye sabah 9'a satacaksın? Aileli bir şirket devam etmek istiyorsun. Çünkü diyor düzgün aile insanlar saat 9'a kalkıp alkol satmaz.
İki çeşit var. Sen anla. Sabah bira gidiyor. Biraz soruyorlar.
Hı-hı.
Bak sabah 9'dan sonra biraz soruyorlar. Akşam da diğer alkolü soruyorlar.
Okay. He's saying that in the mornings people come more to beer and stuff. So for beer, and then in the evenings they come more for whiskey and vodka and stuff. But he's saying like if the case that the timing's been a problem, then I could start selling at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. I'm fine with that because I don't want to cause problems to the community. He wants to actually keep it safe because he works here too, and he said that I work in this area too. Whenever I want too much crime happen, it's going to affect my business too. People will be scared to come into my area, to my shop.
Okay, thank you. One more quick question. Oh, sorry, Chair. Do you want to?
Yeah, well, just on alcohol generally. How long have you been a personal license holder?
Kaç yıldır personal license holder var sende?
Yanılmıyorsam 12 years.
It's been nearly 12 years or more, maybe more than that, 12 years.
And when was the last time you had that training in license renewed?
Ne zaman en son renew yaptın?
But 8 years ago. 8 years ago.
Sende var mı?
No need to keep looking at folders. You should know. Sorry, we can't keep stopping for each answer.
8 years, maybe.
Right. So in those last 8 odd years since you were trained, would you say there's been some changes in the industry?
Demiyor kısım diyor ki hani bu 8 yılın içinde sence değişiklik olmuştur mu? Hani bu training.
Tabii ki. Lot of.
He goes, yes, there have been.
Lot of.
And in the time that you've been a shop owner in, having this, I think you said you owned a freehold or you the leasehold of the shop. Have you noticed changes in the area for the better or for the worst in terms of the problems that we've been talking about today?
Okay. Diyor ki 10 yıl buradasın. Hani diyor 10 yılın içinde değişiklik olmuş mu? Hani sence bugünkü konuşmamız işte kavgadan, işte insanlar sokağın ortasında içiyor, işiyor. Bunlar şikayet olmuş biliyor musun ya? Diyor bu 10 yılın içinde hiçbir değişiklik olduğunu görüyor musun? Ne
Değişti tabii. Yes.
Yes, he said.
İnsanlar gün gittikçe farklılaşıyor. Her gün değişiyor. Aynen öyle söylüyor.
He said, yes, there have been a lot of change, especially in the high street, in the town center.
But my question was specifically where you are located. We're not talking about the town centre, which I would define as the high street. This is Barking Road. There's a lot of other premises, as we've heard. Have you noticed changes in that time? Because you said you've been there 17 years. I would have thought there might have been some changes.
Bu 17 yılın içinde bu sokakta değişen bir şey oldu mu ya da ne oldu?
Bu sokakta değişiklik yani tabii ki çok oldu. Hangisini sayayım?
Ama suçlarla olarak diyorum hani.
Suçlar olarak tabii ki değişti. Yani gün gittikçe biraz daha artıyor.
Okay. He's saying yes, there has been a lot of changes in this Barking Road, and he's saying that there has been a lot of crimes that's going on with people drinking outside and weeing and stuff.
So why did the council decide to make it a community impact zone, and why in its revision of policy did it continue to be a community impact zone?
It's because of the crimes that's happening with people drinking outside and whatever other crimes that's going on. It's people that come into the area, people are changing, people are going, so the crime is going up.
Have you witnessed street drinkers in the area?
Well, I haven't specifically. I haven't.
No, the question was to your father.
I asked him, hiç sokakta içki içen gördün mü bu sokakta, bu Street Avenue'de?
Bira görüyorum ellerinde. Asiydi bir yerinde han.
Ama böyle gecenin yarısında sokağın oturan hani şey.
No.
Okay, he's saying he's seen people that drinking or walking past, but he hasn't specifically seen people sitting down on Streetfoot Avenue and then just drinking and
never.
causing problems.
Never. I got 1 o'clock, sometime I go in my car, 2 o'clock or 12 o'clock, sometime I go late. It's 24-hour shop. But when I park in my car, Street Avenue, I never see any like this. But sometimes people pass to them, the front shop, the black bags, when the one beer is in, drinking his pasta. Yesterday I see one, but never go in, come my inside, never go there. It's passed through it. I never see them now.
Councillor Wilson, sorry, you've been very patient. I thought you wanted to come in.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Cesar, just this. What are the 4 licensing objectives?
Belki 4 tane licensing objective var. Onlar ne diyor? Hiç bana.
Ben tam anlamadım. Soruyu bir daha sorsun.
Yani diyor ki 4 tane kural var licensing'da. O 4 tane kural ne?
Çocuğa içki satmamak.
Hı.
Tamam, söyle kendisine. Under 18 and under 20. Onu say. Sarhoşça satmayacaksın. Polise satmayacaksın. Ambulansçıya satmayacaksın.
Okay, he said that not to sell to children under 18s, and for the 25 ID to ask them if they seem under 25 to ask them for the ID and make sure they show that ID, not even they're on the phone. So because some people take photos and just show the ID, oh, here go my phone, my ID's here. He said he wants to see the ID. He said not to sell for drunk people. If someone's coming, they're already drunk, they already have alcohol, I won't sell anything to them because they already been drinking, and then that will cause more crime. He also said that üçüncüsü neydi?
İlk başta çocukları koruma.
Ama üçüncüsü neydi?
Ambulansçıysa satamazsın, polise satamazsın.
And you can't send to healthcare professionals, like people are working as like key workers. You can't be sending them to alcohol if they want alcohol. They can't be in the key work uniform.
Okay, can I just stop you there? On page 20, on page 11,
Yep.
your father and his agent filled in an application form. You said they'd done it together. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All together yapma.
So if we go to...
One second. Sen nasıl yaptın? Bu formu nasıl yaptın?
Ben genlere para verdim işimi yapmaları için. Bu işle uğraştıkları için. Ben genlerle yüz yüze gelmedim.
Okay.
Yani
Because
sadece
of the COVID-19 situation, they've done it online together, but he was not specifically with her, and she done the form. He told
That's
her,
fine, but did your father look at the form before he told her to send it? Did he understand
let me
the
ask.
application form?
Let me ask. Sana formu gönderdin mi? Bize göndermeden önce diyor.
yok. Bana
He
göndermedi.
goes, no,
No.
she hasn't sent it to her.
Dün de kavga etti babam değil. Gene de söyle, onu da söyle.
Okay. He said he didn't receive the form at all. She just straight sent it to the Newham Council.
So when I asked about the licensing objectives, and on page 21,
Yep.
it tells you what the licensing objectives are. So you're telling me that your father hasn't even read his own application form or the bundle that he should have received in the post, the agenda?
Sen hiç bunu okumadın mı? Hiç eline gelmedi mi?
Yok, okumadım.
And he goes, no, he hasn't.
Ona gidiyordu bütün kağıtlar.
Thank you. That's all, Chair.
Now, I'm going to say, I think we're reaching some important points here. Thank you very much, Councillor Wilson.
Sorry.
Councillor Lofthouse, anything further at this point?
Yes, it's coming back a little bit to my previous one, but you've observed that there are street drinking problems with street drinkers in the area, and they have been talked about. Yes, the officers have mentioned them. Now, so if you were given a license, how could you make sure that you did not make the street drinking problem worse?
Diyor ki, diyelim ki license aldın. Nereden biliyorsun ki sen daha kötüleştirme etmesin, hani bu sokak içeriğinde şu anki çok yaygın olan durumu.
Öyle bir yaygın durum görürsem ilk başta polisi ararım. Yani diyelim ki sokakta içtiler. İlk başta polisi ararım.
Tamam.
İkincisi Ben bu bölgeye zarar vereceksem 1 yıl içinde, 1 yıl sonra license elimde alabilirler. Genlerin yetkisindedir o.
Okay. He's saying if I see anything like more people drinking out the street, I will call the police and let them know. And he said, even if in a year time I see the police comes up and says to me, the license, like you give it and you take it, right? He said, if they're seeing in a year there's been more cases in this area, in this specific in this shop area in next to my shop, and there's more alcohol drinkers like outside. He said they could come and take the license off from me. I'm happy with if they say, you know what, it's been more problems. Your shop is causing more stress to the community. We want to take your license. He said they could do that to me if that's the case. Because I don't want to cause any problems to the community. I just want to make my business and make profit.
Bir de beni denemeden anlayamazlar.
That's it.
So nothing to do with what you sell them.
Sorry?
Would it have anything? Would what you sell them have anything? Would what you sell have any effect on it?
Anlatamadım kendisi.
No, he's saying that if I've seen, he goes, I'm not going to sell alcohol to
Şunu söyler
drunkards and
misin
stuff.
biri?
He's saying that if I have any problems that's going on, I will stop my selling because I don't want to stop my people coming to the shop and people not doing any shopping in my area. Oh, you know what? Like for example, people will say, you know what, that shop has problems with alcohol. Why should I go there? And he will be more upset about that. So he's saying I will stop selling alcohol if that's the case.
The one Christian asked them. The second one, I've been here 17 years. I got 3 old is my one. And I work to my business here. I look into my family to the business. Is there any problem is give it to my business alcohol. I don't wait to cancel. I'm going to take off to the alcohol. I don't want to broke my business. I want to try the more business, nice business. When you give it to them after 1 year, he give a problem to me. He give it to my customers block to me. He give it to my business block to me. I straight away are taking off that alcohol. I don't wait that.
So can I come in at this point? Is that all right, Jane? Is that all right, Tony? Yeah. On page 52, you or your agent has written this in reply to the Newham Council of Licensing Policy, that all 3 of us were part of the main licensing committee. We reviewed and it was presented to full council and it received council approval at the end of March of this year. So it's current. You quote the Newham is a rapidly emerging centre of commerce and culture. That's direct from the council statement of licensing policy. You then say, so the risk is everywhere. I presume that the risk meaning about important contribution of licensed premises and risk to, following on from what we've heard today about street drinking, about antisocial behaviour, about alcohol-related crime, about violence. So the risk is everywhere. It's not clear what the risk is referring to, but to reduce the risk and control the risk can be reached with the complying with the regulations and special conditions with the granted premises license. We cannot see any risk selling alcohol with fully implemented conditions. So if we were to give you this license or grant you the license with a load of conditions, we are hoping that people can understand our aim and respect our application as we respect their representations. What you're saying, if I'm getting this right, sorry, I'm trying to clarify, Jane, the reply. Are you saying that if there were any problems, you'd immediately stop selling alcohol, and that's your response?
Yep, he will. He's saying that.
Well, you've applied for a license. How are you going to suddenly stop selling alcohol?
He will just take the off from the stocking and then won't sell alcohol. If it's causing problems to the community and more problems to the shop, he's saying then I will take the alcohol shelf off and then stop selling alcohol. And then if they wanted, the council wants to take the license from me, they could take the council license from me, because it's going to cause more. If it's causing more damage, more problems, and taking more serious effects, he said I will stop selling alcohol. Why should I make my business go bad? He's saying.
I refer to page 55. Again, what's written in italics by you or your agent. This is about the cumulative impact zone. The quote again is the statement of policy that the special policy will not prevent applications. So that's why we're hearing this. We haven't said no, we mustn't under the law, but yet there is a rebuttable presumption that you're not going to make the situation worse. So all three councillors will make a decision on, you know, it being part of a unique application. That will not add to the existing problems in the area, and that's why we're focusing on this about the existing problems in the area, and there will be no negative cumulative impact on one or more of the licensing objectives. So we've tried to look at the licensing objectives with you. We're trying to look now about the cumulative impact zone. The special policy will apply to all licensable activities to sell retail of alcohol, which is where we're at. Now, you've under that said, we believe that under the light of statement and of the licensing policy, with the special additional conditions we can provide, a sale of alcohol by retail consumption off the premises without any problem if the new premises license has been granted. Again, you're saying there's not going to be any problem. And if there were to be problems, you'd suddenly stop selling alcohol. That's the answer you're given. Are you sticking by that?
Yes.
This is the second time I'm asking you this.
Diyor ki Emin, hani sen diyorsun ki sorun çıkarsa o bölgede, o şeyde hani kavgalar şu bu kötüleşmeye başlarsa ben durdururum alkolü diyorsun. Kesinlikle durdururum. Bu son kararım.
Bak, şöyle bir şey söyleyeyim. De ki mesela günlük polislik olursa, günlük haftada 3-4 defa polislik olursa ben niye shopumun adını kötüye kullanayım ki o zaman?
Yeah, he goes, yes, I will stop selling alcohol. If I'm going to be always with calling police and causing
Ama şunu da
problems, there's no
çizeyim.
point of me selling alcohol. It's going to be, I don't want to affect on my business. He's saying, nope, I will stop selling alcohol. If it's causing too much problems, after I start selling in the area, I'll stop it, he's saying.
Bir de şunun altını çizeyim. Bu bölgede, tamam, bu bölgede alkol satışımla da örnek olacağıma da eminim. Aynen öyle söyle.
Just finally from me, if it were to be the case that alcohol was being sold at your premises along with the others that are in the area, why do you think we might insist on can marking and bottle marking?
Can I ask a question? What's can marking and bottle marking? So I can explain to him.
Well, sorry, I'm not going to answer the questions. I asked the questions. I'm not going to answer my own questions.
I didn't say answer your questions. I said I don't know what's bottle marking.
Well, I'm sorry, you know, you're coming before a licensing committee. I think we've got the right to ask you questions that are contained within our model conditions and things that you are available on a publicly available platform, Newham Council's website.
Diyor ki bottle ve can satışı var ya, onlarda marking varmış. Onunla ilgili diyor, ne yapmayı düşünüyorsun, nasıl yapacaksın? Ben onu bilmiyorum, bana test cevap verdi.
Markinleri okurum de. Çünkü ben okumak zorundayım. Onları görmek zorundayım. Her alkolün kendine göre bir markı vardır. Onları görmem gerekiyor.
Okay. He said, I need to make sure and I read the markings or the bottle and can marking because they have every brand has a different marking and different değişik
bandları var.
Okay, he goes, there's different markings on it, so he would make sure he reads and make sure
onları okumadan
he makes a list of it, what is there and what is not there.
Right, I think we better move on. Anything further, Councillor Wilson and Councillor Lofthouse at this stage? You're on mute, Councillor Tony Wilson.
Yeah, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything at this point?
No.
So, Kerry, do you have any further questions to the applicant?
Yes, Chair, just one really about the CIZ. I just want to ask the applicant, does he understand what a cumulative impact zone is and having an establishment that sells alcohol within a cumulative impact zone? Not what's been written by his agent. Does he understand it? If he can explain it to me in his own words, what a cumulative impact zone means.
Şu an sana dememelerinin sebebi işte sen bölgedesin, kırmızı bölgedesin, işte kötü, işte alkol içenler, işte kavga çıkanların bölgesindesin. Daha yüksek olan. Bunu anlıyor musun bunun ne olduğunu? Anlatabilir mi bana ne olduğunu? Kendi diliyle İngilizce anlatmanı istiyor.
Okay, and I'm in Risk Place, yeah? My English not very well, yeah? Risk Place. The Risk Place, only, I want to try the 4 or 5 times, but that's second time I got an application to the board. I don't know why every problem is come to my business. No, is everywhere is selling alcohol. Everywhere is get problem. How people get the control, I want to try to get control. The second one, he give you any problem to me, business. I know that I get one company, get the contract that I get one security in the door. Lot of people is do security, he's paid that, and weekly, he's get one company, security company, he get the one gentleman come starting, but 3-5 is finished 9 o'clock. People do like this, I do like this, that is what. But first, I'll see that how is going that. When I got the nice thing, I don't get any security. When he got any problem too much, but second or 2 times, 3 times, I get one securities in the door.
Okay, Chair, nothing further, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor, sorry, Councillor Wilson, you're back on mute. Do you want to come back in?
No, not at the moment.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Can you put yourself off mute then? Sorry, I'm thinking that I've missed your hand. Sorry. Connell, do you wish to come back in with any questions to the applicant?
No questions, thank you, Chair.
John Chislett, do you have any further questions?
Yes, Chair, I've got a couple of questions of the applicants.
Uh-huh.
Within your operating schedule or the application form, you have stated, let me just get it back up, that all staff will receive appropriate training on induction and refresher training at intervals. Can you explain to the committee who will be doing the training?
Diyor ki sen formda demişsin ki işte bütün çalışanların alkol training alacak, işte ders alacak. Bunu sana kim yapacak?
Kenan.
Someone called Kenan.
Kenan.
Is that the agent that submitted your application?
Agents. Email yollayabilirim.
Yeah, it's the agent that done the form to him. They do trainings too.
Şu an iki elemanın da license'ı vardır. Erkan Doran'ın da vardır.
Okay.
You had is your other question on training, John?
No, it's not, Chair.
Well, can I just come in with a comment about training and a question? On page 55, I note that refreshment training will be provided according to your agent. I'm at a loss what refreshment training is.
Oh, basically there's 2 workers in our shop has already have personal licensing too, so it will be refreshment for them because they're the one that mainly works in the night times after 7.
So they've got licenses already, personal licenses, and this will be a refresher on top of that. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. Yes.
İstiyorsan emailleyebiliriz yani.
Yes, that's what he's saying.
And how frequently would this refresher training take place? Because on one page it says just refresher training, then it says annually somewhere I read.
Let me ask him. Kaç yılda bir training
I
yaparsın?
thought there was some reference to annual training somewhere.
Her zaman bu trainingleri ne zaman yaparsın?
Senelik yapıyoruz.
Okay, he said every year. So
it will be annually, in your opinion.
And he's saying if there's any changements in the laws or any situations, then he said I'll do again. But mainly it will be annually, so every year. Only if they had it in January, they have in January. But if there's any changes to the law or anything in the situations, then he will just call in and say and doing training.
Right, John, do you have is it still on training? Because we may have a view on that one, but we can put that in conditions if we were to grant the license. But yes, John.
Yes, Chair. It's following on from what you just said about the refreshment training, and the applicant stated it's going to be on an annual basis. On page 54 of the agenda.
Yeah, this is where it says it's somewhere else, isn't it?
Yes, it says in order to achieve the target, the applicant has already organised and planned quarterly licensing refreshment training in each calendar year to make staff understand the Licensing Act 2003.
So what is it? Is that what we're asking? What is it? Is it annually or is it quarterly? Sorry, John, is that, sorry, am I preempting your question?
That's correct, Chair, yes.
What is it? I knew there was a reference. I knew I'd read contradictory stuff.
Okay, let me
It's
ask.
either annually or quarterly. It can't be both.
Diyor ya senelik mi yapacaksın yoksa çünkü diyor formda yazmışsın ki her 3 ayda 4 ayda bir yapar mı ya da senelik yapar mı? Sen ne zaman yapacaksın onu soruyor. Senelik,
Bunu
senelik.
aslında var ya benim muhasebecim yani bana diyor 6 aylık yap. Yani 6 aylık yap. Yani ben şu an bunda 3 ay önce yaptım. Restoranda yaptım.
Tamam.
Training yaptım. Tamam,
onu
3 ay önce.
bilmiyorum. Ben şu an senelik mi diyorsun yoksa?
Senelik diyorum.
Yearly. Annually.
Right. Now, it's sorry, John, I know it's your question and I've got Tony coming in. It does refer to this, the paragraph which I could not understand, which says to support and prevent crime and disorder and public nuisance. And that's what some of the representation have been about. The applicant will take all reasonable steps to reach the optimum target. What do we mean by the optimum target?
Burada kadın yazmış ki diyor ki ben işte targetlerine göre yaparım. Tam onu ben de anlamıyorum ne halttan bahsediyor.
Bu kadınla hiç bilgim yok. Bunu açık açık söyleyebilirim.
Onu söylediğin zaman sen zaten davaya kaybedin.
Tamam.
Sorry, I need to push you. You know, there's been quite a lot of delay here. You know, what is his optimum target? This is only one half of my question, actually.
All right, sorry.
I want to know what you mean by an optimum target.
Babam bu alkolik olsa diyor, her 3 ayda bir bunu alacak diyor. Buna eminim diyor. Ve kağıtları size yollayacak
He's
diyor.
saying, I don't know why my applicant has written that, and I just asked him, how did that happen? And that's why I just asked him. And he's saying to me,
But you see, following on from that, sorry, I know Councillor Wilson wishes to come in, and it's John's questions actually, but we can ask questions at any time. It says, in order to achieve the target which you say you don't understand yourself, the applicant has already organised. Is this the case? Because presumably you are the applicant still, even if you didn't follow those words. The applicant has already organised and planned quarterly licensing refreshment training. You're now saying that it's going to be yearly.
Eğer alkolik olsam her 3 ayda bir ararım. Çünkü adam buraya geliyor, burada bana ders veriyor. Tamam mı? Saatini ödüyorsun, buraya geliyor, sana veriyor. Ben alkolü alırsam her 3 ayda bir bunun kursunu alacağım ve kağıtlarını da genelere yollayacağım. Tamam.
sorun o değil diyor. Sorun diyor ki kağıtta diyor ki 3-4 ayda bir. Sonra böyle bir bölümde diyor ki yıllık.
Diyor ben 3 aylık yapacağım.
Tamam diyor. Sorun yapmaya da yapmamam değil. Sorun diyor ki siz kağıtta apayrı şeyler yapmışsınız, yazmışsınız. Ben şimdi size ne diyeyim yani?
Doğru söylüyor. Doğru söylüyor. Özür dilerim.
So is the answer coming, please?
Özür dilerim baba. Güzelce anlat.
I'm sorry about that. Seriously, that's my broker is giving headache to me. That's it's two people, one in husband and wife. Yesterday I got a lot of problem that he never helped me that. The second one, when you get my license, that's training. When you call them every 3 months, he come to my office, he's give it to my training to me that. When you get my license, every 3 months I do that one. 100% I do that one. When you come to me that, give it to me training to that, he give it paper to me, I email to the council that.
Right, Councillor Tony Wilson, you wish to come in on this or not?
Yeah, just very quickly. Sorry,
Is it still on training?
It's still on training.
Yeah.
So it's been 8 years since you've had your personal license. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. When was the last time you had a refresher course?
Ne zaman en son alkol dersini aldın, training aldın?
3 months ago.
You had a refresher course 3 months ago
3 months.
by your same agent.
Same agents.
Yeah. And can I just ask, was that
not same agents?
not Bill Worthy Way?
I give you the name. It's Kenan. He's give it to me.
Cannon. And was it conducted in English or your own language?
My language.
your language. 3 months ago.
Yeah, 3 months ago.
Okay, thank you. That's all I wanted to ask, Chair.
Thank you. John, back to you. It was a long interruption by the members there, but you're being very patient. Is it
That's
still on
okay, Chair.
training?
No, it's not on training. It's
Sorry then.
I've got two-
I've got to give Councillor Lofthouse a chance to come in on training if he wishes. Do you wish to come in on training, Jane? I don't know. What, yours is not on training.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Except I lost the name of the person who was the trainer 3 months
Yeah, but the
ago.
clerk will give that, I think. Yes. There's
Yeah.
the clerk got the name of the trainer?
I think so, Chair, yes.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Is that all right, John? Yeah. So, John, back to you.
Right, I've just got two quick questions. Again, in your operating schedule of the application, your agent has stated a written record of refused sales should be kept on the premises and completed when necessary. The record to be made available to police and or local authority upon request. Can you just explain to members what information you and your employees will record in that refusal book and when you would use it?
Peki yazmış ki işte bir sorun yaşarsam kitap tutacağım ya da ne bileyim işte çalışanlarıma söyleyeceğim işte şöyle böyle. Yani onu nasıl ne zaman yaparsın, nasıl kullanırsın diye bana cevap versin.
Ona de ki
Öyle bir şey var mı?
he var. Kitabı da tutuyoruz, dolapların derecelerini de tutuyoruz. Bunlar var. Onlar var. Hep işçilerin de kağıtlarını tutuyoruz. Onlar hep muhasebecimizde.
Tamam ama diyelim ki sorun yaşadın.
Hı.
Kitap varmış.
Bak, eğer diyelim ki bir sorun yaşadık, saatini yazıyorsun, tarihini yazıyorsun, ben bu sorunu yaşadım.
Okay.
Bu diyelim ki bir çocuk geldi, sende alkol istedi, yaş tutmuyor, saatini yazıyorsun.
Okay, he said the book that you're talking about, he will keep it and then he'll write the times and name, who was observing, the employees' names and everything, and make sure everything's logged into the book. And then he normally sends this to his accountant. It's a private accountant. He really looks into them.
Ya ben bakarım bu
Yeah.
kadar.
And they both do sit down together and see any main concerns and everything that they could be reported. He said that.
So when would you use that refusal book?
Ne zaman kullanırsın o kitabı?
Alkol koymadan önce başlarım. Yani alkol
Hayır. Bir durum olduğu zaman ne zaman kullanırsın?
aynı dakika. Yani diyelim ki geldi sorun yaptı değil mi?
Evet.
Sorun ne? Problem yarattı. Problem yarattığı an,
As soon as when the problem happens.
çünkü tutman lazım, kameraya polis bakacak. When you, there is
So the answer was as soon as the problem happens. John, do you wish to come back on that question?
I was going to say, what do you mean as soon as a problem happens? What do you mean?
No, when you get asked something, when when you get any problem, any to that, like it depends. Somebody's come get to make problem to you, or problem do that in the shop, problem do the alcohol. You survey when you keep that time and writing down, and when any problem, police is coming, you give them time, you just check the camera. You should be definitely keep that. Any problem, you're writing the book. You're writing to the face is got like white or like gray or white, like this, you're writing the book.
So if I understand you correctly, your idea of a refusal book is, say somebody came in and caused an argument or a fight inside your shop,
He's saying
you would record that in that book.
No, he's saying if any like someone, a child came and they're underage,
büyük de olabilir.
or they're drunk, he said, I'll write it down in the book and make sure it's logged in, what time, how it happened. And he has camera systems, so we take the camera and put in a USB. Just any.
Okay. Just one final question. I'm not too sure if I misheard you earlier on during the questioning, but did you say to members that you've never sold alcohol and you're not too sure what alcohol you should or shouldn't sell?
Yeah, he never sold alcohol, so he's not sure about this in this area which alcohol goes fast. For example, there's just different types of brands. Whiskies have different, there's Jack Daniels and other parts of types of whiskies. He's not sure which brand he will sell. So he was saying that I won't buy alcohol, too much alcohol, and put it in the stock. I'll try and see which alcohol. I'll buy JD, put it on the stock. If it goes, it goes. If it doesn't go, then I would try a different brand. I won't put so much alcohols on display and then.
Çok koymayacağım.
So would you be selling like Stella, Carlsberg, K-Cider, Frosty Jack, Copperberg Cider, Dragon Stout? Would you be selling those sort of items?
Ayda falan satmayacaksın değil mi? Böyle hafif alkol olan şeylerden.
Yok.
No, he's not. He's just gonna sell mainly alcohol, like vodka and JD and Hennessy.
Well, all those items that I just listed are all alcohol.
They are alcohol, but he's saying I won't put like ciders and.
No, biraz satarım. No, honestly, now I'll sell the Stella. I'll sell the KA, but not each. Four pack. I don't sell the single. I don't want to give it a single. Look, only one beer or one Stella or like one Budweiser. I want to sell the 4-pack.
Okay.
Right.
So would you be selling K-Cider?
K-Cider satar mısın?
Satarım.
Yes, he said he will.
Yani single satmam.
He won't sell single. He will just sell in the
Ha,
packs.
Jack Daniels filan, I'll sell the single, yeah.
Okay, so you just stated to members that you'll sell K-Cider. Do you know what the percentage ABV is of K-Cider?
K-Cider'ların içine ne kadar alkol olduğunu biliyor musun?
7'dir bildiğim kadarıyla. Ben alkol kullanmadığım için bilmiyorum. Yani 7'dir.
He's saying it will be 7% maximum.
7 or 13, it depends, it's different.
I think we've heard the answer. I don't know
Yes.
whether we can pursue any more on this one.
I don't think so, Chair. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Any more questions of the applicant? It's now the applicant's right then just to have a brief summing up before us, and then for the benefit of those who are watching on the live streaming service, we will pass a resolution to make our decision in private. But do you have any brief closing remarks? I'm just checking nobody else has got any more questions. Mandeep, you have nothing to add at this point? No?
No, Chair, I don't have anything to add.
Thank you. Connor, Kerry?
Thank you, Chair.
No. Okay, thank you. So the applicant is just some brief closing remarks before we go into our private discussion.
The line cut off. Can you say again? Sorry.
Any brief closing remarks before we go into our private discussion?
Yok, teşekkür ederim.
He said he has nothing to say. He said-
Okay, yes, that's fine. So we will now go into private session. We can't say how long we'll be. So the Zoom helper, tell me what happens now. I always get this muddled. I don't want to tell people the wrong advice on the technology. We go into a separate room, but what does other people do?
Well, I've created a breakout room for everyone,
Right.
so that everyone can be off camera and off mic,
Yes.
but in their
Thank you
own
very
room.
much for that, Pauline. And then you'll put up a screen to tell people I was going to say at home, but you know what I mean? People are
Yeah.
watching us on YouTube. What's
Yes.
happening? Thank you very much.
Yeah,
So don't go away, everybody. We'll come back with a decision, but we're now going into a private discussion.
Breakout rooms are open.
Acıkmış ne yapsın?
Do we have everybody back?
I can't see John Chislett.
No, I couldn't. So there he is. Yeah. Yeah. So is that everybody back? And can everybody still hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience, everybody. The committee has made a decision, and I'll ask the clerk to read that out, please.
Thank you, Chair. Having heard all submissions, the licensing subcommittee have decided to refuse the application. The full written decision with reasons will be sent to the applicant, with the aim of this reaching the applicant in 5 working days.
Thank you very much. It remains for me to say that the law states that the applicant, responsible authorities and interested parties may appeal against that decision to the Magistrates' Court within 21 days. We are of the opinion as elected members that it would be helpful just to say to you that you may wish to seek to get a lawyer or other agent to act on your behalf. And of course, you can always resubmit an application, but we strongly advise that you get some legal advice, because it's clear that in the way that you've been answering our questions, that may be helpful to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mandeep, is there anything that I need to add to that?
No, Chair, I think that's sufficient.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for the way you've answered our questions. Thank you for your patience throughout. And I think that is everything I need to say, but thank you very much. Meeting is